determine the initial position, initial velocity, period, frequency, and amplitude of the motion if x is equal to -4 cos pi t take away pi by 3. So let's deal with this a piece at a time. I'm going to start with amplitude, even though it's mentioned last, because when we're in this form, it's just the number that's here. So amplitude is equal to 4. And what that means is, if we think about the oscillation with the mean point here, it's going to go backwards and forwards between -4 and 4. Now let's go back to initial position. Initial position is the position when t equals 0. So we get x is equal to -4 cos, and that's just going to be negative pi by 3 if t is equal to 0. So that is going to be -4, and the cosine of pi by 3, remember your cast diagram, ASTC, so cosine is positive down there, cosine of pi by 3 is a half, so that is a half, and so that is -2, and it's probably in meters. This one's in meters too. Okay, so that's the initial position. Initial velocity, so we want the velocity, we're going to need to differentiate. So cosine goes to negative sine, so it's going to be 4 sine, the argument won't change, so that's going to be pi t take away pi by 3, and then by the chain rule we need to multiply by pi, so we're going to have 4 pi sine pi t take away pi by 3, and then we want v of 0, which is going to be 4 pi sine negative pi by 3. Sine is negative down in this quadrant, and so that is going to be 4 pi times negative root 3 on 2, which is going to be -2 root 3 pi, and probably meters per second. I didn't put units in the question, but always read carefully to see if there are units. It could be centimeters per second or whatever in the particular question that you have. So we've done the amplitude, we've done the initial position, we've done the initial velocity, we want the period. Now we know that this is given to us in the form x is equal to a cos kt plus beta, and so the k here is equal to pi, just by looking at our formula just here. And we know that the period is 2 pi divided by k, so in this case that's going to be 2 pi divided by pi, which is 2 time periods. I'm just going to say that's seconds. And so we just want the frequency then. I've never actually seen a question on this, but it could come up, I guess. That's just 1 over t, and if t is 2, then it's going to be a half, and it will be seconds to the -1.